Hello, everyone.
Hey, welcome everyone.
Yeah, welcome to this webinar, App and Agent Management, What's New? And we already got a brief introduction here, but yeah, Vesa, can you just maybe reiterate a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, Adam. Yes, my name is Vesa Nopanen, and everybody usually calls me Vesku. I'm a principal consultant for future work at Sulava MEA, and I live in Finland and in Turku in there. And of course, I'm a Microsoft MVP for M365 and Microsoft Foundry, but please feel free to connect with me at LinkedIn. And I've been in this trade for, I don't know, 30 years, more or less, in the IT. So it's been a long time, and I've been seeing different roles. But I have to say, the current time in this era, that's the most exciting one with the AI and everything that's happening at the moment. How about you, Adam?
Yeah, well, I've been in this game for a while as well, and most of the time with you as a friend, Vesa, as well. My name is Adam Deltinger, working as a service owner at the company called Asa Abloy. And yeah, I've been on Microsoft MVP within the Microsoft 365 teams, and now also, of course, AI and Copilot fields. And yes, feel free to connect with me. I'm sitting myself not that far away from Vesa in Sweden, so a neighboring country. All right, so a little bit about today's agenda. We're going to briefly talk about our workshop at Microsoft 365 Community Conference in Orlando in April. Then we're going to dig into and narrow down a little bit in the topics of unified applications or unified apps and app-centric management, and explain a little bit about that and show some demos. Vesa is then going to talk about Agent 365. And then we're going to round up with what's next within these topics and then finish up with a conclusion. All right.
Sounds good.
Yes. So, of course, this webinar is a sneak peek of our joint workshop, Do Collaboration Right. It starts with the admin that we're going to do on site on the conference in Orlando in April. And of course, we will talk about a lot of different things here. We're going to do it on the Friday on April 24th. Full day. We have target audience. Could be a lot of different people, but we would say Microsoft 365 administrators, service owners, IT architects, and of course collaboration leads. And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff: team channel strategies, external sharing, and guests. We're talking about how to work with and provide applications and agents. Different meetings.
Okay, and it looks like Adam
compliant
just
overall. Of course, Copilot from a collaboration perspective.
Okay, Adam, you're breaking up a bit. So, all right. So, yeah, basically we are. Okay, I don't think Adam is hearing me.
But of course, if you don't attend the workshop, you will still bring something and learn something today, so to speak. And of course, we have a QR code here for more information to the workshop and how to register for the workshop as well. Did I miss anything, Vesa?
Yeah, you were breaking up a bit during that, so I was trying to interrupt, but I don't think you heard that. But no matter. So what we are going to be doing is that we are going to combine our teams and Microsoft 365 experience and expertise what we have with, of course, with the latest Loop and agentic AI and all that expertise together, and provide you a very good collaboration workshop where you can learn a lot of different things.
Yes, thank you. No, I didn't hear you there. So let's hope everything runs smoothly from now on. Okay, as I mentioned, we're gonna focus now in this webinar on app-centric management and unified apps, and talk about what is this and how can we use it, and how it differs from how we used to manage apps in Microsoft 365 and Teams. All right. So when we talk about how we used to manage Teams applications, we used app permission policies. And there was a lot of problems with this. Basically, it worked like you created app permission policies, and then you assigned those policies to users. And the policy could include multiple apps. And the problem with this, that it worked pretty well in very small organizations. With mid and larger organizations, it quickly become very tedious to manage for administrators. The main reason for that a user could only actually be assigned to one single policy at any given time. So if you decided to, add a few apps to a policy, and then one user needed an additional application, you had to either add that app to that policy, but there might have been more users that have been assigned to that policy. So now you have to now we have to create an additional policy and then add me there, and so on and so on. So it quickly became very tedious to manage. But that's history, so to speak. Now, or most organizations will have something called App-Centric Management that has been now replacing the app permission policies. So instead of assigning apps per user within a policy, you basically assign users and groups to the applications themselves on an app level, so to speak. And every app can have 3 different availability options. And as you can see here, the everyone is an option, so everyone can use this application. Specific users or group, it explains itself. You can add a specific user or a group to an application directly, and that user or group will now have access to that app. And no one, it's like the app, when you use to block an application, it's disabled for all users. No one can use it. So this is a huge improvement from app permission policies, and it's way easier to actually now manage who can access applications. So I already mentioned
it. Can I drop in a question? Like in there, have you already been using this?
I have been using it, yes. I have.
Yeah, because you are managing quite a lot of users in the organization as the service owner. So
exactly.
You have good experiences from that, right?
Yeah, we're a, I would say, fairly large organization, right? So what we did, instead of we saw quickly that, we can't spend all this time managing all these different kinds of policies. So what we did when users requested Teams apps, for example, then we basically did an assessment to say, can we publish these applications to everyone? Is this application or this app okay to publish to all? And then we would just basically do it in the org-wide policy that applies to everyone that aren't included in a custom app permission policy. So then we kind of got around having all of these different policies, but it wasn't really good, because you don't want to publish apps to everyone. You want only the users that actually needs the app to have access to the app. But with App-Centric Management, we can get around this very easily. So as you say, benefits here, granular and clear access control is one of the big benefits of App-Centric Management. Also, actually, the propagation time, because app permission policies took a while to propagate. So you had to wait, and the users had to wait to being able to access their app. And now it goes actually almost immediate, the change itself, so they can access the app almost immediately. And of course, for the admins, right, easier administration. I would say very easy to administer, and I will show you here in just a second. I will show you what it looks like also. This is I would say finishing rolling out in February next month. So I think most organizations today have switched over. So this should be something that you have already today, but there's different phases of rollouts. So there might be a risk that it hasn't hit yet, but otherwise it will very soon. Before I go over and kind of demo a little bit, I want to quickly just mention Unified App Management as well. So when we're talking about app management and Microsoft 365, there have been a little bit tedious thing that when you manage Teams apps, you go and do that in the Teams Admin Center. And everything you do there is only solely responsible for Teams. And some apps do actually work in other aspects of Microsoft 365, like, for example, Outlook. We have the Copilot apps. It could be in the Word applications or in the Office applications and such as well. But then when you do this from the Teams, or did this from the Teams Administrative Center, it only hit for Teams. Okay, and then you have to go to the Microsoft Admin Portal, go into Integrated Apps, and then do the settings there if you want this app to be available, for example, in Outlook as well. So it could be different settings as well. The org-wide settings could be different, and there's no synchronization in between until now or soon, because either of my tenants actually have this, but I know it's on its way. It's different phases as well. They begin to roll out in tenants that hasn't done any kind of custom settings and such, and then it's gonna start different phases up until June of this year to roll out. So it will come shortly. The good thing about this that now they are in sync. So when you do something from the Teams Admin Center, you configure the availability of an app, it will automatically sync over to work in the other host applications this app does work in as well. And if you do it from the integrated apps page, it will synchronize to the Teams Admin Center. So it was really a hassle, or is today actually a hassle, because they are different and you have to use 2 different portals to kind of complete a configuration of an application. All right. So with this, I'm actually going to do a quick demo of this, what I've been talking about. So I'm going to quickly go over and go into my browser here. And I hope everyone can see. All right. So now I'm in Teams Admin Center. And what I used to do when I managed app availability, I went into the Teams apps and I went to team permission policies. So what happens now is, since I have the App-Centric Management enabled, I can't use permission policies. So it basically just reverts me back to the main Manage Apps page, which I have here as well. So if I click Manage Apps, I can see this page is not new. It's been here before, but it's been a little bit updated with some new features in regards to App-Centric Management. So here I can see all my applications, right? If I go to Actions up here and go to org-wide settings, I can see here that I have enabled all Microsoft apps to be available by default, and all third-party apps disabled by default. So by default, no one can access any third-party apps in this organization. And that's a quite common configuration, I'd say. And what I can do here, if I go to the 123 Note Taker AI app, for example, I can see this a column here called Available To. And because I have the org-wide settings set as no third-party applications to be available, they are set as no one. So even if you see it over at the app status over here as unblocked, that doesn't mean it's basically blocked when it says available to no one, right? That's a new block feature, so to speak. But what I can do, I can go in and change this for this specific app. So I can either highlight it here and click Add Edit Availability over here, or I just click the no one over here to go in and edit the availability for this application. So if I click here, and I can change this to specific users or groups. And here I can add a group that will have this app available. I have created a security group, email enabled security group here for this specific app, and I can click apply. So, and this is really easy now if you have an ITSM tool where users can go in and request applications, and after maybe an approval or something like that, they just add a user to this specific security group that belongs to this application, and now they have access to this app in Teams. So now
I think a lot of people want to ask the question is that, okay, what about if I have Teams? Can I use that as a group where the app is available to?
No, it needs to be, right now at least, it needs to be an email enabled security group for this to work. But I don't think there will be support for, maybe there will be support for Microsoft 365 groups, which is the kind of the back end of a Teams team, so to speak, but not at this time. So actually, if I go to users here, I actually have a tab open here. This is me. I'm part of this security group, right? So if I go to the tab apps over here, and actually I'll just do a quick refresh, I can see all the apps that I have available for me via the App-Centric Management. So I told you it was fairly quick. So now it's here. It recognized that I'm indeed part of the group that have this 123 note taker app available. And you can see it's available through a group itself as well. Okay, so by doing it this way, it's way easier to manage than it was previously with app permission policies. No more policies, just add groups or users directly to an application. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the unified app experience as well, because as I mentioned, now if I go to the Microsoft 365 admin portal, I have the integrated apps page here. I can actually see I have the same app here, but it says here no users in the organization can install this. And this will be like this until I have the unified experience enabled for my tenant. So right now, if I can see actually here under host products, this application actually also works in Outlook. So if I click this one here, I can see that I can now from here configure this 123 note taker app for Outlook, but Teams is grayed out. And it really says, yeah, you have to go to the Teams admin center to configure the availability for Teams for this app. And that's kind of a bummer, right? Because now I have to manage it here for Outlook, and I have to go to the Teams admin center to manage the availability here as well for Teams. So what's going to happen here going forward with the unified app management feature is that they will all sync. So I only have to go either here, and it will work for Teams and Outlook, or I can work from Teams Admin Center, and it will sync back to the Microsoft 365 admin portal. So I can basically pick and choose the portal I want to do it, but I only have to do it in one place. So that's really good. All right, so that was my demo here. So let's revert back to you, Vesa. You're going to talk a little bit about agent management, right?
Yes, thank you, Adam. And yes, we are jumping to the part where we talk about agent management. So we were managing apps. Agent 365 is the service that Microsoft announced during the Ignite, so just a few months ago. And currently, it's a very, very usable for managing agents. But in the future, it will, of course, do a lot more than just that. Why Agent 365 was founded, or what's the kind of basis for that? One of the reasons is the new governance challenge. So there's going to be a lot more applications and basically 8 agents in this case to manage. Based on the study sponsored by Microsoft, there's going to be 1.3 billion AI agents in 2 years. So every company will have tens, hundreds of agents to manage, and probably we're talking about those thousands ones in just a couple of years. And it's going to be a challenge for IT, of course. Okay, how do I manage and monitor and do everything with this? So Agent 365 is going to be the kind of control plane or the hub how to manage AI agents. So you can basically think about this organization. Okay, how do I discover what kind of agents we have? How do I know what kind of agents we have? Without this, you had a kind of an issue. How do you find all the agents your employees have been creating? So how you discover them? How do you deploy them in a managed way and securely? So how do you secure the agents? And how do you basically operate them at the enterprise scale? This is not the issue for small companies. This is issue for enterprise companies and large companies that are going to have a lot of agents. And Agent 365 is basically extending the identity part, Entra, and the security. We can talk about the Defender and Purview. and the compliance tools there as well of Microsoft 365 to agents. And this is now in Frontier preview. So if your tenant is in part of the Frontier program, then basically public preview, then you can kind of experiment with this already and see what are its capabilities today. And some of the key capabilities it has, one of those is the registry. So, okay, how do I have the inventory of all my agents? So, because now all agents also have agent ID in Entra or most of the agents. So you can kind of do that discovery part there. And you can also discover what kind of agents your employees have been creating. And it's not going to stop there. But then there's the access control, because you need to think about, okay, how you are limiting access of agents to some of the resources. So you can kind of think about, okay, do I need to apply conditional access policies and limit the access to resources those agents don't need, and so on. And visualization is also important, like, okay, what's the connection between agents and people and the data? It's kind of managing the apps there in a bit. But in the future, there's going to be even more visualization capabilities. But now with the purview, and so you can bring in the visibility through the threat management and so on. So you can start seeing through the audit log agent activities as well. And finally, or two lasting things is their interoperability. So you can, okay, how it's going to work with the other services. And this is about the tooling capabilities, like the model context protocols that are there. So you can kind of manage access to those as well. And of course, you want the security and compliance from the Defender and Purview. So you will want to kind of think about the data loss prevention parts and monitoring and detecting attacks and so on. So there's a lot of these that are going to be in this total big picture. Some of the features are not there yet, but some of them are, because one of the features that's not there is the managing digital employees kind of way. So the agent templates that are coming, I haven't got them to work on my environment yet. But without ado, I'm going to jump to the demo part. So what we have here, let me just refresh to be sure, is the Agent 365. Of course, this is the admin view for the Agent 365. And the first thing you notice, it's going to answer the questions, how many agents we have. In this demo environment, we have 487, but that includes all agents, including the third party. And we have some of the demo users, and we can see who's been creating basically the agents in our organization, shared by the creator. So these are basically Agent Builder or the Copilot Studio Lite agents, or what has been published by the organization, and by a number of agents by Microsoft and the third party. And the agent platforms is, of course, an interesting one as well, because here we can see that it's the most of the agents we have are from the Copilot Studio Lite, the Agent Builder. It's still the old name is there. And then there's Copilot Studio created agents and even some SharePoint agents. And you can see some activity over time as well. And the other hero cards you can see are top actions. Is there requests for publishing agents? Not currently. Or are there agents without owners? Think about those Agent Builders / Copilot Studio Lite agents. When the person leaves, the agent is basically left without the owner, we can assign new owners from here and we can see that part. So this is already, or should be, helping the admins at this point. But we want to see the registry or inventory about all our agents. So we have almost 500 agents here, and we can dig in to each of these. But I really like the map view. This is a much more visual. I have a bit of zoom here, so it may not be that visual, but I can already see that, okay, we can see there's some SharePoint agents. Interesting, that shows 5 and there was 8, so perhaps some were deleted. The 24 from Microsoft, And other agents, we are not interested about those, but there's 39 created in Copilot Studio that are currently here, and 156 in the Agent Builder or Copilot Studio Lite. So we are seeing some of the deleted agents in some numbers. So if I start to zoom in, I can see different names here. So let me just quickly find the, let's go I think it was ERD, and let's see, no, it was not. Let me just remove that and let it refresh. But oh yeah, it was the ERD. It just I didn't see it first. But this is one way to discover, of course, those agents. And when we are looking into agent, we are seeing a few things like, okay, when it was updated and what kind of data it's using. And we would see there's some SharePoint libraries that are used. It's using directly some files. This doesn't have any actions, but I could be assigning a new owner or blocking the agent. Similar things that we were doing with the app management as well. And from the security,
it's using the same availability types as well as other apps.
Yes.
Apps. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of easy there to start to manage these applications or sorry, agents. And of course, in the registry, you can see a view. Probably people are using this, but then you can jump into this. Okay, with the filtering, who is this available to? Where this has been published. So this is available in different places, not just in Copilot or in Teams, but these are also available through other places. And the platform where it was built on, and so on. So you can discover your agents quite easily, and you can even pin some of those. Looks like that. So I can start pin your agents to the organization, and I can block and deploy them. But if I go to the request is empty, so you can assign them here. But here's something that has been in the Microsoft catalog. And if you go to the researcher, this is something I discovered. You can connect researcher to other agents if you want from here. So from the Agent 365 service. And you can start seeing, okay, who is this assigned to? So you can alter these. And again, we have visibility for data and are we allowing the computer use there or not. And on the toolpaths, is that, okay, this is where I can start managing, is there at all access to these model context protocol servers that are providing information to agents. And also in the agent settings, you can find all this kind of settings from one location. So these are which are allowed, what kind of sharing is allowed, what kind of templates are there. And this is going to be important later on because these templates are going to play a key role with the Agent 365 SKU. So it's going to be a SKU that you are attaching to agents. And watching here, we can, when we start creating these templates, it's going to enable different kind of policies that we can put there. So that's going to be management at scale. All right, so just a couple of things thinking about the Agent 365 is basically touching a lot of different roles in the organization. It's just not for admins. It's also for developers when you think about, okay, we have the registry and onboarding stuff, but also the business leaders, okay, are my agents are going to be successful and so on. This is not just a kind of a single service for managing. This is an overall service. It's designed for every role and so that the organization can benefit from AI agents. And why this matters as a recap, because this extends these foundations what we have like in Microsoft 365 and how we are managing people today. We have MFAs, we have all kind of things regarding people security. We can extend these to AI agents. And that's kind of the big thing because things are going to scale up. And That's why Agent 365 is very, very interesting tool. That's something that you should be learning more. And we will be talking about this more in our workshop. So just a few things. What's next for apps and agent management is that apps and shared and private channels are rolling out. So basically shared channels is there and should be more or less in place already. And private channels is getting those apps. So you might be seeing these on your tenant already. But there's going to be a couple of usage reports. In the admin center, you can already see that in preview is that you can track about agentic usage. But the agent dashboard in Viva Insights is coming in February, March. So that's where you can put to the Copilot dashboard. That's the first one. And then you have basically an agent dashboard. So you can, when you can give out these permissions to more users than admin center permissions usually, then you can kind of start tracking about the agentic usage and think about your adoption and change management to get people using them more. And of course, then there's going to be that Frontier and Microsoft agent user request approval flows. And this is also connected to this Agent 365. So you will have approval flow when somebody is asking for the agent. I think we are getting close to time. So of course, please do sign up to our workshop. That's going to be on the Friday at Microsoft 365 Community Conference at Orlando. Yeah. And so on my part, I think I'm just going to say thank you. And unless, Adam, you had questions you want me to answer quickly?
No, but for the sake of time, I think we skipped that. But yeah, I think Microsoft have done a lot in regards to the availability of creating agents and stuff like that. And now they're kind of, yeah, they have a long journey of kind of make us have an easier way of managing all the agents we created. So I think Agent 365 is on a good way. Still things lacking, hopefully to come shortly, but I think it's a good update for sure. But yes. I'll say thank you so much for attending as well. And hopefully we'll see you in Orlando in April.